So I truly hate video, but this is a picture of my son and I. This is my favorite picture of us, and it's one that I cherish because it happened at a hard time for me, at a time that I was afraid of us being separated. And so it fits this theme. Seeking asylum is legal, and that's the first thing that I need to say because that is the first thing that I keep hearing from people is illegal immigrants, illegal immigrants. Well, the first thing I need to say is that seeking asylum is legal. These are families who are fleeing frightening and horrific situations, and we as a country and as an international player have agreed to assist them. Secondly, even if they are arbitrarily, quote unquote, illegal or undocumented, that is a misdemeanor to cross the border illegally, and it carries a $50 fine. At no point in time does a misdemeanor with a $50 fine mean that you should have your child taken away from you. Speeding tickets cost more than $50. I have had a few, and I have never had my child taken from me over a speeding ticket. That is an insane argument. Please stop making that argument. I hear a lot of, we need to worry about Americans first. Well, here's the thing. Supporting citizens who are fleeing these dangerous countries is helping America on a couple of different levels. The first is that it helps us to not create terrorists. And this is especially true when a lot of these countries can easily blame the United States for the situation that their country is in. Because our country has helped to destabilize their government. And this is done by international policy and corporate greed. Many of our corporations take advantage of the cheap land, resources, and labor in places like Honduras and Guatemala, where these asylum seekers are coming from. So their problems are our problems. And when we deal with the global economy and we take advantage of the global economy, we also have to deal with the global backlash of a global economy. And so we need to understand that. And we need to hold ourselves accountable for that. And we need to stand up and say that this is our problem because we help create that problem, because that is part of what capitalism is that we create a problem and then we also have to stand up and take account for that problem. We can't just let it go, because then we end up having terrorists, and we know the end results of terrorists. We felt that way too much. Finally, I need to say that humanity can't be discounted. If we lose our humanity, then we have nothing. If you can't put yourself in the position or in the shoes of a parent who will do literally anything to be able to be sure that their child is not murdered by a drug cartel or a bank that they owe money to, a parent who will literally walk hundreds of thousands of miles and risk anything to save their child, then you have lost a part of your soul. Because I would. Without even a second thought, screw everyone and everything, I would do it. I'll do whatever it takes. And as parents, we should understand that. And we should see the pain of these parents who are being separated from their children. And we should find it completely unacceptable to separate a parent from a child in a country that doesn't necessarily speak the same language, and to put them with people who can't touch them or hold them or offer any kind of sympathy or empathy or love, and to comfort them when their parent isn't there. That's absolutely child abuse. To separate them with no plan for reunification is heartless and irresponsible, and it's heartless and it's irresponsible both fiscally and morally. What happens when the parent is deported and the child is still here? That means that we have to take responsibility of that child for the rest of their lives. Fiscal responsibility, emotional support for that child until they are 18. So that means your tax dollars are taking care of that child until they are 18. How do you feel about that, fiscal conservatives? That's not a political issue. This should not be a political issue. This is ridiculous. This is a brand new policy. It's a brand new policy green-lighted by Sessions and by Miller and by Trump. There is a paper trail that proves this. They are the ones that can and need to stop this. They are the ones that can and need to be held responsible. Republican senators and congresspeople can and need to stand up and stop this. Because every single Democrat, I think with the exception of one, has signed on. So there is only one party stopping this from happening. There's only one party that's allowing this to happen in our country. And we need to hold them responsible. And we need to call. And we need to fax. And we need to show up. And we need to do that for these kids. And we need to do that for these parents. And we need to do that for our country. And we need to do that for our soul. And we need to do that so that when history calls, and that when I am teaching this 10 years from now in my classroom, I can say that history knocked on our door and we said, no, thank you. You will not be here. We will not allow this because we have a moral character and we are not going to be the one that movies are made about and that will be judged. And we are not going to be the ones on the sidelines throwing stones at little kids walking down the street. That will not be us. So choose. Are you the stone thrower? Or are you the person who's going to be protecting the kids? Because that's your choice. It literally is your choice right now. And I truly hope that you make the one that protects your soul and protects your character. Call your representatives. Call them every day. Call them twice a day. Call them until they know your name. Call them until they're people, like when I call, they sigh a little bit, but they know what you're going to say. Just call.